Good evening. Actually, good morning. It's past midnight. And like I always say, why do you need glasses there over there when you have a bottle? That's an excellent bottle. I can tell it wasn't subjected to heat like the previous bottles during the Texas freeze. I left off on a previous episode on Charlie Krueger, where I mentioned that he and his first wife, their first child, had died due to cystic fibrosis, which is genetic, ran in her family, not in mine, and had come to the conclusion that it was definitely 1959. I want to tell that story now because especially my mom always called my many brothers and sisters and other people like the Lewises, etc., kidnappers, because they kept wanting her children when they had no children of their own. Or actually, Jack Lewis had one child who was a complete loser. Dean Lewis. Dean Lewis, if you want to sue me, go right the fuck on. Go ahead. So my point is that I pointed out that in '59, I was just coming to the end of that segment. Can't get that hair to lay down. Had a lovely sleep this evening. Had some pizza, had wine, pizza, slept, overheated a little bit, got up. But anyway, I'm quite sure it was 1959 because I completed first grade with all A's. Mrs. Metzger, the A class, not the B class. By the time I was 5 years old, I was already being tracked for college. I need to branch off here for a few seconds. We need to bring tracking back just like England does. Children who are clearly not fit for higher education go into the B classes and they will be sometimes released from public school by the time they're 14 or 15 to go into the trades. And we used to do that here in Texas. Now we lump all the kids together, and all you get's a bunch of retards because teachers have to teach at the speed of the slowest, dumbest kid in the class, where in the past in Texas, we had A and B classes. We tracked children based on their appearance right off the bat, their ability to speak English clearly, and their obvious intelligence. So I'll get on with it. I'll try to keep this at 10 minutes because I really don't. So in the summer of, I think it was, 59, we were coming upon the elections and stuff like that. It was not 60 yet, because in 60 I was already, that jerk John F. Kennedy had already been elected, and I was already in second grade. So my brother's wife showed up, and I can't even remember what car she was driving because she may have gotten a rental here. She showed up here in Texas without my brother, which was the first time ever. And she may have even, given my mother money or something, anything she cajoled my mother to, let me take the kids for a few weeks or something like that. I'll show them a good fun time. No, it wasn't really a fun time. She took us. It definitely wasn't on the Texas coast to the west of Houston. It was somewhere close to where she owns a home now in Beach City, Texas, or something like that, which is not really even a. And she never even took us to the beach or anything. But for about 2 weeks, we holed up in some hotel, and she was probably by then some pill popping or whatever, because she came up with some pills for me when I got ill from all the chlorine in the pool and that nasty. I was showing my first signs of being intolerant of closed air spaces. But she took us to some hotel, and just it was just out of I really her sole motivation was the same as the rest of her life. Is she was a childless school teacher, just like Marilyn Lewis and like so many school teachers. They have no children, including my niece Vicky, who died at age 50 of pancreatic cancer, never had a child, didn't want children, complained about teaching school all the time, didn't really have to teach school or do anything because she apparently is a trust fund baby from the Boston Logans, Vicky Logan. So we went to some hotel, and I don't even remember because I may have nodded off during the trip, which you do when you're a young kid and stuff like that. And we arrived at some hotel. We really never left the hotel. I don't ever recall going out to eat. She would bring food in, and she just had to smother us and own us for a couple of weeks just to satisfy her need during her off period during the summer, and when she was a teacher in San Jose, California, and still lived on 1111 Denopoly Drive. Look it up. That house is still there. Okay, I'm gonna dig a booger. Okay, see how far I can get that? Okay. It was just weird. It was just, that's all we did all day long was, because even at 5 years old, I still wasn't really much into television. Didn't watch TV much. We'd go out and hit the pool. We'd eat. We'd sleep and shit like that. And Beverly really didn't do much. In retrospect, she was clearly depressed because her child had died within 24 hours after birth. And stuff like that. It's really fucking sad. If you have to go and steal your mother-in-law's children for a couple of weeks to salve, that's S-A-L-V-E, to salve the fact that you lost a child and had your tubes tied and decided to never have children because you're so egocentric. But she also had, obviously, a mild case of polio. That's why she had that little sexy little wiggle walk she developed. She was just still working on it then. But I just wanted to let all you Caldwellians and Burlesonians that will watch this, I want to let you know that Charlie Krueger did have one child, and it died 24 hours after birth, and his no good, scheming, scamming wife, who clearly approached Charlie Krueger when he was about 19 years old after he'd worn his first All-American award, to go like, "Hi, Charlie, I'm studying over at Sam Houston and stuff like that. And hey, Charlie, oh my, your zipper is so slick, and here you go, and just wormed his way into his life. And it was so weird. I remember this to this day. It's actually, I noticed after about a week or so, and I was starting to kind of do some of my first acting up and stuff like that. Like I would kick a door closed instead of closing it politely, like I was taught my parents' home, stuff like that. But I developed a respiratory problem from being in a closed air system. I don't tolerate closed air systems. That's why there's this huge window right in front of me that's wide open year round. During the Great Texas Freeze, the huge window right there was never closed. I don't do closed air systems. And she gave me these weird red pills, which were, I don't know. I don't know where the hell she got them or whatever, but I could tell that she was kind of depressed. I don't remember much about that summer. She wasn't very entertaining. Don't even remember the TV being on much and stuff like that inside the hotel room. We never went anywhere. I swear she brought in all the food and stuff like that. She would apparently go out and pick it up herself and stuff like that. She just wanted to be surrounded by a girl and a boy. Beverly Badgley is so typical of most school teachers and so selfish and stuff like that. My father needed me for labor. Actually, I needed me for labor. I already had a going, lawn care business and stuff like that. And I see that moth. I needed to be at work and stuff like that. It was summertime. She deprived me of income while replacing it with And you know what? After a few days, a swimming pool gets real boring. It just was, But when you're an athletic, really active kid like me and stuff like that, I milked it. I remember my sister Rhonda really didn't do much. And after a couple of weeks, my sister-in-law, Beverly Badgley, middle name totally unknown, just gave up and returned us to my mother and to my home, and then went back to California. But this is a story of when I know for sure that Charles and Beverly Badgley Krueger lost their child. It was 1959. It wasn't 1960. It was 1959. And this was the summer of 1959. I started and finished first grade with straight A's by June 1959. And she came shortly after June because California always lets out late. So all of you people in Caldwell who worship my brother, he married a woman that was had polio, gave great oral and stuff like that. And was much older. She may be 89 by now. My brother was just such a loser, but then so are most Aggies. Really not too fond of the Aggies. The Aggies always consistently choke, and I don't. But this is a story of the summer that when I should have been working, my sister-in-law came in from California and conned my mom out of her children. I'm almost at 14 minutes. I think I want to end it with this. You women out there, you want to be everything. You want to have power. You want to start a business, all this other stuff. Bullshit. Oh, and you're a feminist. Yeah, I'm a feminist, blah, blah. You know what? You're a bunch of losers. My mother, just like her mother, knew that the greatest joy in life was producing a lot of children, being surrounded by children, the sounds, those little squeaky voices and all that stuff. My mother knew that the greatest joy on earth was having a bunch of children. And all you sad, old, pathetic bitches who have been playing that feminist card forever and who will die alone, just like Alma here recently. I have an aunt named that by that. It's not this. You'll die alone and your cats and dogs will eat you because you're not there to open up the cans. So, fuck off.